The original Fallout games may not get much attention anymore, but the passion for these isometric,
A lot of people call Fallout isometric. It's actually Cavalier Oblique.
Cavalier Oblique masterpieces burns long into the night. Long after Bethesda bought this franchise and long after Black Isle closed down, there are still many dedicated fans who are building their own stories from the bones of the original Fallout engine. And these are the most anticipated total conversion mods in the works for Fallout 2 as of today. These mods are either still being built or they haven't been released outside of Russia yet. All of them have brand new stories, but some make use of the original game assets and artwork, while others have completely new art, animations, sounds, and even complete soundtracks to wow the Fallout playing audience. Before we get started, let me just remind you to like and subscribe for more videos about Fallout 2 modding. Thank you very much. Whispering Winds, not yet officially released. Whispering Winds, made by modder Lex, is a sequel to his original Shattered Destiny mod. This upcoming mod used to be the third part in a trilogy of chapters, for which the Shattered Destiny mod was the first. But because of time constraints, and since all modders must work a day job, that trilogy has officially been shelved by Lex himself. Since all the information that I'm aware of is from Lex's own post, I'll just read this description of the upcoming mod from the author himself. Whispering Winds is a new open-world, story-driven campaign set in the post-apocalyptic world of Fallout. Based on the remains of the 2007 release Shattered Destiny Total Conversion, you'll return to the Waste not as a Vault Dweller, nor a chosen one. You are just a regular nobody whose final path has yet to be settled. You will find yourself stranded with a hot air balloon amid the wastes of Utah, the year 2243. Surrounded by hostile tribes and gingers, you'll set out to shape the world around you. The how, however, is yours to decide. Lex even has a short progress tracker here, though from the description there's more left to do than other mods on this list. And if anybody is interested and has the passion or the skills, Lex is looking for a writer and a 3D modeler to join his modding efforts. If you're interested in joining Lex's modding efforts, a link to this forum post will be in the description. As with the rest of the mods on this list, any links I can find to forum posts, official sites, or any other information will also be in the description below. Last Hope mod. This mod, made by modder Forgotten Knight, as the title screen loves to point out, is a total conversion mod that hasn't yet been finished, but does get regular updates as the modder continues to work on it. One of the cool things about this mod is the modder is an English speaker, so updates, while maybe not having perfect grammar, at least don't need Google Translate to make them playable for the average viewer. This mod starts the player off as a prisoner with amnesia, whose first task is to find a way out of an obstacle course-laden dungeon similar to Fallout 2's Temple of Trials. Once you've managed to get through this dungeon, you're tasked with finding another person somewhere in the wasteland, given a direction, and left alone for the most part. This mod seems really well designed with lots of working quests, well-written dialogues, a new world map, and 8 new towns so far, each with their own set of new maps. The steel skill has also been slightly modified. Now it requires you to pass a skill check before the steel screen opens up, effectively preventing players from checking certain random NPCs' inventories. And the combat difficulty setting now also adds a modifier to town NPCs' DR, or damage resistance. On top of these changes, there's an entire eating and drinking survival system that's been added in. As of version 1.082, the version I've played so far, the first 2 changes have been implemented, but the eating and drinking system is still just visual with a warning in the corner of the screen, and has no actual effect on gameplay yet. At the time of recording, this mod is currently not available as the mod author removed the old version in anticipation of his updated release with several updates to scripts and maps. As with all the other mods in this video, you'll find links to the download, though it may be empty right now, and forum posts in the description. Be patient, Forgotten Knight has promised to release his next version soon, but I don't know when that will be. Fallout Yesterday mod, not yet officially released. The Yesterday mod is a reimagining of the Van Buren project using Fallout 2's engine. For those who may not know, though I suspect most who watch this already do know, the Van Buren project was the original Fallout 3 in production by Black Isle Studios until it was cancelled just before Fallout's sale to Bethesda. Van Buren's design docs have been leaked to the public for some time now, so it's not surprising the number of fans I've seen recreating this untimely, lost game. Though only a few months into production at the time of recording, this mod already has a ton of maps spread across 6 large towns and several new special encounters. In this mod, the player wakes up in a cell in Tibbetts Prison, a large-scale penitentiary in the middle of the Arizona wasteland. They then have to discover a way to escape the facility and explore the Arizona desert, looking for quests and factions to support or destroy in typical Fallout fashion. This mod is very much a work in progress, but the modder Hexer, or PJ, not sure which one is more accurate, is putting a lot of work into its development, with consistent updates and a ton of interesting ideas. Some of the more impressive additions to this mod include being able to choose several different character types, including Super Mutant and Ghoul, And these new character types also have stat modifiers applied to them. Another incredible idea is the addition of a whole host of new traits to choose from, with crazy imaginative descriptions. I mean, look at some of these. For instance, beat with an ugly stick. Description is, you are ugly. There is just no other word for it unless you consider hideous a better word. You take a penalty to charisma, but because you have had to defend yourself from frequent attacks, you gain a bonus to strength, agility, small guns, melee, unarmed, and throwing. Colorblind. You have a small mutation the autodot calls deuteranopia. You don't distinguish certain colors such as red and green. Take a look at this one actually. Frankenstein's monster has the description, you were reanimated by a mad scientist from various body parts. You gain bonuses to strength, endurance, electrical, and poison resistance, but you have very slow agility, a damaged brain larynx connection, and a susceptibility to fire. Take a look at another cool one. Weak will. You rarely have an opinion of your own and are easily persuaded by others. I have no idea how he's going to make this work, but it sounds freaking awesome. Delusional. You sometimes see and hear things that only you can perceive. A mutation, loss of sanity, or something third. It's hard to tell when real and unreal blend together. That sounds like an awesome one. I would love to be able to play with that one. However, I have no idea if these have been implemented yet, except for the color palette, or how HexRPJ is going to make them work, but man, I love some of those descriptions. Add to these a color change mode that represents holographic mode, and some new critter animations, weapon designs, new soundtrack, and tons of new artwork make this mod look very promising indeed. For those of you who may be interested in playing what has currently been released, incomplete though it may be, you'll find links in the description below. Just be warned, this is still very much a work in progress and is definitely incomplete, but worth a look as the default language appears to be in English, so it's actually playable for those of us in the English-speaking audience. Fallout Sonora, official release March 2020. This next total conversion mod has actually already been released, in Russian anyway. There is an effort underway to translate it to English, but these efforts are usually slow and will take some time, so an official English release is still a ways off, firmly placing this mod in the upcoming category for my non-Russian speaking viewers. This mod was created by Nevada Band Studios, the same people who made Fallout Nevada. Now I can't say for certain what this mod has for a story, I don't read Russian, but I can say there is a ton of new art, new dialogues, new talking heads, and a completely new story and plot. To top that off, there's a completely new soundtrack with brand new songs by Alexei Trofimov, I hope I pronounced that right, aka Nobody's Nail Machine, one of which should be playing in the background of this video right now. According to the site description, Fallout Sonora is the story of a simple peasant who was pushed to a difficult path by fate. An ordinary person at a crossroads between the two sides of the world, between the past and the future. The Sonoran desert awaits you, peasant. What are you going to do with your freedom? This mod was released about a year ago on March 20th, 2020. Here are some of the features from this mod. A non-linear storyline with a direct continuation of the events of Fallout 1, about 100 quests, new world map, 12 large locations, 7 small and 11 special meetings, and about 1.9 megs of in-game text. By comparison, there were 1.7 megs in the first Fallout. And once again, new music from Alexei Trofimov. What they didn't say in that description is there are a ton of new talking heads. Though as far as I've been able to play, the heads don't actually talk, probably because voice dubbers are just as expensive in Russia as they are here in the US. Not that it would matter much now that I think of it, because it would be in Russian anyway, so I'm out on that one. Although there is a dirty little rumor going around that somebody's trying to get an English cast together to voice the talking heads. But you didn't hear it from me. Now, while I realize this mod is still in Russian at this point, there is an effort underway to translate it into English and probably a few other languages. Just don't expect to have an official translation all that soon, as these things seem to take months to years. If this doesn't deter you from playing this mod, or if you happen to also speak and read Russian, I'll have links to this webpage and a couple of forum posts in the description below. Olympus 2207, official release 2014. Now this is the fanciest mod on this list and my most anticipated mod. It's not a traditional Fallout mod, neither the setting nor the story. Pretty much nothing in the game has to do with the original Fallout series, even most if not all of the art. While the previous mods on this list were total conversion mods, this mod takes it to a whole new level. I don't think a single sprite from the original game has been reused. There's new art for menus, critters, NPCs, players, even the strippers look like actual strippers now. Well, as much as the engine can make them. While the full game is in Russian only as of the time of this recording, there is a demo of the first level, a tutorial level, that has an unofficial English translation, though it is pretty crash prone. If you don't mind crashy gameplay and corrupted saves, you'll find a link to the demo in the description. Made by a whole host of semi-pro modders working to make an incredibly complete total conversion of the original Fallout 2, This mod was officially released sometime around 2014 by Nebessa Game Studios at the time. There are 3 stages in this mod, the tutorial level included in the demo being the first. This mod is supposed to include a crafting system, a hacking minigame, and some new player character models. A new trait and a new skill have been added to the character creation screen, so be sure to check those out, and a few other technical additions that I don't really understand from the information given on the website. Now, this mod may not be fully translated yet and has been around a pretty long time to not have a translation yet, so don't expect a translation to be coming out anytime soon. But in a positive development, Keyboard Gecko has been spending a lot of time recently in a concerted effort with Matt Drax to fully translate this mod from beginning to end. On top of that, he actually posts periodic updates on his YouTube channel showing off the work he's been doing. Check out his channel if you're interested in keeping up on the English release of this crazy underrated mod.
Hey there everyone, it's Gecko, and today we're talking about the Olympus translation. Again.
Mutants Rising, not yet officially released. This total conversion mod is being slowly developed by a group of long-time, well-known modders, including Pixote or Pixote, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, sorry, Lex and Drobovic, all big names on the anime modding forums. There are several different descriptions for this mod out there, but these 2 are the most complete from what I can tell. So let me read from the lead artist description first. It has been hundreds of years since the Great War ended and the post-apocalyptic Nevada is being repopulated. Civilization once again spreads slowly into the wasteland. Out of the blue, a mysterious army of super mutants emerges and begins to assault the settlements of the region. Is it the second coming of the Unity? Has the Master returned and begun stoking the fires of revolution? The progeny of Cassidy must seek an answer to this enigma, all the while racing against time to save what's left of a world devastated by conflict after conflict. And here's the description from the ModDB page about the mod. When mutants kill and destroy all that matters in your life, what can you do? As the last hope of a dead town, will you seek justice for the dead and help for the survivors? Or will you lose your way in this big, nasty world that's waiting for you? Can anyone, good or evil, survive for long in a world where most problems are solved at the end of a barrel of a gun? That's not exactly what they said, but I like it this way better. Elko was once a peaceful community in western Nevada, founded by the Chosen One about 2 decades ago. You have lived in Elko all your life. After a vicious attack by a group of savage mutants, you flee with the survivors of the town to a small bunker. Once the battle is over, though, Cassidy suffers a heart attack and is in critical condition soon afterwards. Find a cure for Cassidy, discover why the mutants attacked Elko, and discover who your real parents were. I know, the story sounds a little too close to the original Fallout story, but there has been a lot of interest in the modding community for this mod, and that description is definitely intriguing. So it still looks really interesting, and I can't wait until it's completed and released. So many teases out there. This mod project was started in 2003 and has some 18 years of work put into it. Jesus, mod is old enough to vote and go to war! There's a demo that was released in 2011, definitely worth checking out. The demo was originally supposed to be the complete first town of the mod, but rumors since then indicate it's been cut from the final product, although we'll have to see the final product before that rumor can be verified. While this mod may be taking its time to release, the official website has a small tracker, much like Keyboard Gecko's, keeping people up to date on progress until completion. Just beware, it may not be updated all that often. This mod, similar to Whispering Winds, is also looking for help finishing the last few bits left to complete. Specifically, the group is looking for competent scripters who are familiar with Fallout 2's scripting engine, i.e. the Star Trek scripting language. Oh man, there's a whole story behind that, but that's for another video. If anybody watching has the relevant experience and is interested, consider checking the forum post linked in the description below to offer your services. Once again, links to the demo, the official website, and a couple of demo videos are below in the description too. That's all the new mods I've been able to discover so far. If I've missed any or you would like me to know about one not mentioned here, please drop me a comment. I'd love to play every mod I can get my hands on. But if you're really feeling generous, hop into those forum posts I linked in the description and show some support for our modding community by leaving a simple comment letting them know how interested you are. Modding is a selfless job, and these magnanimous creators should know how appreciated they are for sticking with a project, in some cases for almost 2 decades. This video was not sponsored by a VPN. Do not use a VPN, they're terrible. Use Tor instead. Edward Snowden uses Tor, WikiLeaks is hosted on Tor. Use Tor.